Welcome to Hardcover Feedback. I am Brandi Smits.
I'm Tracey Hill.
And today we are reading Midwinterblood by Marcus Sedwick. In 2073, on the remote and secretive island of Blessed, where rumor has it that no one ages and no children are born, a visitor arrives. He is greeted warmly, but something is wrong. And so it is under that light of the waxing and waning mood, 7 stories unfold, and the story of an archaeologist who unearths a mysterious artifact, of an airman who finds himself far from home, of a painter, a ghost, a vampire, and a Viking. And the story of a love so primal and passionate, it slips bonds of times. This is the story of Midwinterblood.
Eric 7 does not believe in love at first sight. He corrects himself. Even in that moment, the moment that it happens, he feels his journalist brain make a correction, rubbing out a long-held belief, writing a new one in its place. He did not believe in love at first sight. He thinks he might do so now. "I'm Merle," she says. Her light hair falls across one eye as she shakes his hand. She flicks it aside and smiles. "Of course you are," he said. Inside, he makes a note to punish himself later for such a lame reply, and yet he had not said it with arrogance or even an attempt at being funny. He said it as if someone else was saying it for him. Which sets the tone.
Yes. I love this book because it's not like any other books. And I think I've mentioned that a bazillion times before in other reviews of different things. I like things that are unique. And this book is by far unique in its construction and how it moves forward and the characters. I guess, first of all, I should say there's 7 different stories, as I mentioned earlier. And within the 7 different stories, you have a few things that are constant. So you have Eric and Meryl, Meryl. I always think that her name is Meryl, but whatever. You have those two. They're in every story. The island is in every story, and the flower is in every story. Otherwise, there's no similarities. The timing, the age of the characters, it's all different.
Yeah, and so it's recurring. What we see is 2 persons' souls recurring through history, coming back around to each other in different ways, different forms, different kinds of relationships, but always they manage to find each other again somehow. It's not always happy, it's not always good, but it's intimate somehow. They just keep circling back around to each other. And so here we are late in their stories. There's no other story that goes past this one. The one that we start with is the last one, but we don't know that yet.
Well, and it goes backwards through time. So the first story, as I stated, starts in 2073, and the 7th story is before time is even recorded. It's before any concept of years or so. In that sense, it is a very interesting story because it spans a time frame that just is unimaginable. Like, it's such a huge amount of time, and it's not a very long book. It's just 7 short little stories from various points.
It moves very quick, and first we're like, all right, why is it set up this way? And there is an explanation. There is actually an explanation that unfolds really as each story passes, and they're not necessarily in order of how they come up, but we do find out what's going on, and it's so beautifully told. It's so lyrical. It's really almost like watching a poem unfold as well. It's gorgeous, and I love Marcus Sedwick anyway, and was really looking forward to reading this. So I was really sad when it hit a certain point in the narrative, and things just started to take a turn, and I was reading it and saying, oh, no, don't do this.
But I am like the opposite, because this is the only Marcus Sedwick book that I like. I've read like 2 or 3 others by him, and I really never was fully engaged in it. And in this book, it was nonstop. I kept like wanting to know what was going on. And the stories themselves are simple because they're short, they're simple little stories. But once I figured it out, I feel like it was like the big reveal. It was kind of like one of those moments where you hear like the montage at the end and it goes back and you're just like, and all of these things that happen, and then you're just like, oh my goodness, it's all a thing, and it's just amazing, and I don't want to talk about the thing because I don't want to blow it, but it's it's beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
The big reveal for me wasn't that big old, oh my goodness, I should have seen it the whole time. It wasn't like that at all. It was more like, where do you get this from, Marcus Sedwick? Why did you do that to me, you, Mr. You? Why would you turn things out this way when they could have gone? And I know that I'm having serious issues with the story when after I'm done reading it, I'm so mad that I'm saying, well, you could have done it like this, and you could have had it like that, and if you'd have just gone bing, bing, bang like this, and I start like laying out a plan where it could have been rewritten much better, then I know I'm irritated.
But it also got you so invested in it, so therefore it wasn't horrible.
I was invested because I trusted this guy, and because it started out so beautifully. Yes, can't argue that. It is a gorgeous story. It didn't go the way that I wanted to go. Your mileage varied quite a bit. Other people's mileage may vary quite a bit on it. I was still disappointed and sad.
Well, I'm sorry that you're sad. I mean, I was sad too, but I was sad because of the actual content of the book at the end of the book, as opposed to,
Whereas I think it kind of fell apart. To me, it's just he lost his way at the last minute, and it just stumbled very badly to me.
All right. Well, obviously we have some differing of opinions here.
Oh, yeah.
I give this book 4 stars because I love this book. I will read this book over and over again, and I will continually give it to people because I feel like it's something that needs to be experienced. I feel like it's something that needs to be considered. It's so unique and awesome, and I want everyone to experience it.
Okay, and while I am really delighted that this book brought you to him as an author and you're appreciating him as an author through this particular book, my little reader heart just broke, and so I can only muster up about 2 stars for it. This has been Hardcover Feedback. We reviewed Midwinterblood by Marcus Sedwick, and remember, you can find this and the other titles we reviewed at your local library.